Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It's a busy day today. Fridays are always busy for us, as many of you are busy on Fridays because we're getting ready for the next day. We're getting ready for our day of rest. These Fridays, today, and the same ones this any month, they're always big and busy because Sunday we have our local meeting, and there'll be a couple hundred people there for that. And so, we have to prepare not just for Saturday, but we also have to prepare for Sunday. So it's always just a really big day, but it's enjoyable. We look forward to it every month. It's just like a big family gathering. We learn, we have fun, we talk, hang out most of the day. And I would encourage you to try to find that in your local area. And if it doesn't exist, create it. Start one. So many people, I've talked to actually a couple this week, two different people that they're wanting to start a group in their own area, and so they're asking for advice. And if I know of anyone that lives around them, I get, several hundred emails a week, usually a couple hundred a day at least. And a lot of them are people asking, hey, do you know of anyone that lives around me? And sometimes I can be successful in finding that. Not always, but sometimes. And there's other ways to find people. Our tphnetwork.com website, it's a social media platform, a free speech social media platform that we own. And you can possibly find people on there. There's 7,000 or 8,000 people on that site. I can't remember. There's other YouTubers and other kind of preparedness groups and organizations have websites where you can find other people. And like I said, if there's just nothing around you, start your own. Start your own. Shoot me an email and I'll announce it if you want. I'll let people know so that they can come to your new meeting. But it's very important to have others around you. It just is. Let's get on with the news though, because it's just like every day now. It's more of it, and a lot of you are telling me that you're really enjoying the news briefs. That you're kind of coming to depend on it in a lot of ways because you're not getting a lot of good news from the fake media, and they hide the stuff. They only want you to know what they think is important, or you're just not watching the news. So this is a way that you can get some news that kind of matters. And I also post these news briefs and a lot bigger. So this is kind of a condensed down version of it. But I post news briefs on my Patreon channel, usually 4 or 5 days a week. So if you're interested in that. All right, let's get on with it and switch over here. We're going to start off talking about, well, my face is blocking it once again. Oh, goodness. Well, it's not going to work. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong. We'll just go with it. You can kind of figure it out anyway. So we're back to the immigration stuff. Denver, the mayor has declared a state of emergency after the arrival of migrants from southern border is causing an immense strain on the system. Okay? I was going to look up how much the population of Denver is. I can't remember. I'm sure someone's going to throw it out there in the comments. It's what, a million or two? Anyways, so since December, 900 immigrants have arrived in Denver in the past several months. That's really not a lot for a town that size. 600 of them who have arrived since December 2nd. That's quite a bit in just the last couple of weeks. But and nearly 250 have arrived in Denver since Monday. So this week, 250 has arrived, and they're declaring a state of emergency. Most likely, I think it's to get some funding because they go down here and it basically says that somewhere in here that, an emergency declaration would help the city secure more resources. So it's mostly for that, but it doesn't decrease the fact that there's these illegals that are pouring. And when I say pouring, folks, if you didn't know this, watch my video the other day. I show you some current video of border crossings, and I mean they are pouring now by the thousands a day, thousands and thousands in one place. And the border's pretty big, folks. They're coming all across the border, a few million a year now. And so they got to go somewhere. Some of these are being trucked around and flown around to different places. But Denver is already dealing with a lot. Let's go back to here. This is the location. El Paso, Texas, is what I was talking about the other day in my video. They are now averaging 2,500 a day. Okay, 2,500 illegals crossing the border every day. Look at this video here. Are you guys watching this? Look at this. Now they're trying to, you can see there's a fence here, but there's gaps. See this gap right here? There's a border agent right there, and he's just standing there. They are trying, I believe they've put up a chain link fence there, but, they're pouring across. And this, again, this is just in El Paso. I don't know how many different places specifically are being crossed across the border, but it's a big border. So I can pretty much guarantee you there's a lot of official border crossings, and then there's probably a lot of places that they're just running across. See this here, this line of buses? Did you see that? The Mexican government are putting them on buses, and they're giving those buses police escorts to the border with the U.S. and literally driving them right up to the border. And they're getting out of those buses and running across. Yeah. Moving on, natural gas prices are up. Not that big of a shock. Wintertime, always, heating fuels always go up in the wintertime. And even if the increase of prices of heating fuels and heating costs this year go up at a normal amount, that's going to hurt people. Because remember, we learned the other day that well over half of Americans are struggling. Something like 60-some% are struggling now, starting to feel it in their groceries. They're really starting to struggle. So in a normal year, if, heating costs go up 20% over the wintertime or 15% or whatever, it would, you tighten up the buckle, but you absorb it. But when your food costs are between 20 and 50% higher, and even higher, I showed the other day that vegetables, raw vegetables alone are 80% higher right now than they were this time last year. 80% on average higher. So when you take that in consideration, you take into consideration that it's very possible that your mortgage or your rent or your car payment has gone up, and then now gas prices, that's not good. And a lot of people use natural gas. Here is another one. Natural gas prices surged to $7. They're actually a little over $7 because this article's a couple of days old. In fact, here's a little chart. Now, as you can see, this is about where it's at now at $7.20. It certainly has been higher even over the last few months. This chart goes back to 2020. If you drag this chart further back, yes, to be in all fairness, if you go back, and this was the big recession, 2008. You can see it was way higher in 2005. Over here in 2003, over here in 2000. So it's definitely been higher than it is now. That's not the point. That's not what I'm not trying to, make you think that it's just so bad that, it's the highest it's ever been. That's not it. It's that when you already are dealing with gas prices, and I know they keep telling you gas prices are down, and they are. I paid under $3 a gallon the other day. First time in a long time. But they're still higher than where they should be. They're still higher than they were 2 or 3 years ago, okay? And then, like I said, mortgage and all other interest rates. All interest rates are up. So it's possible, anything that you're paying that's on a variable interest rate, like credit cards and other things, you could be paying a lot more now for it. And then your food costs are higher. Costs of just about everything right now is higher except fuel over the last year or so, okay? So when you add to that, yeah, it's going to hurt people. Here we have household energy costs projected to rise this year. Well, they already are. I wanted to go down here just for you folks' information. Energy insecurity was the worst in the South, where Mississippi saw increases or seen increases of 40%, 36 in Arkansas, 34 Oklahoma, 34 Texas, 34, got a little silly pop-up, in Alabama, 33 in Georgia, and 33 Louisiana, and 32 in South Carolina. So, you could expect to see that. Vermont, 15%, Minnesota, 17%, Nebraska or Iowa, and 18%. So it's showing that energy costs are going to be going up for everyone. It looks like the South may get the worst of it, possibly. Although I was reading today in another article that California, they're kind of having a shortage right now of natural gas. So it's not looking good for the winter. Now, I know some of you are like, this isn't that big of a deal. Well, it's another piece to the puzzle, folks. Remember, it's another piece to the puzzle. Speaking of gas and moving on to things that are really big deals, Xi Jinping is standing by, well, this isn't gas, sorry. Xi Jinping is standing by Putin despite his invasion of Ukraine and recently ordered China to forge closer ties with Russia. Okay, so this is a huge deal. I have seen a few people online that keep saying that they don't believe that China is going to stand by Russia. They don't believe that China has a very close relationship with Russia. They're just trying to get some cheap oil out of them. But they're really not part of Russia. They're not part of that deal with Russia. Well, but yet we keep seeing over and over and over again that Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin meeting together and pledging to work closer than ever and all this kind of stuff. Now Xi Jinping is ordering China to forge closer ties with Russia. So he's ordering China. This is an order to forge closer ties with Russia, which means the kind of the axis of evil. Not that I really think, I mean, yes, China and Russia, there's definitely some evilness. But on a scale, when you balance it all out, are they really that much more evil than the West? I don't know. Anyways, we can see their alliances are starting to form. And back to the gas, yeah. China vows to buy more oil from the Mideast as U.S. focus wanes. Okay, so here we are talking about fuel again. And remember, the guy that runs this country with the little red, bandana thing on his hat, we've had a deal with them since the 70s that they would only sell their oil, do business in oil in our currency, okay? When we went off the gold standard, okay, we went off the gold standard, Nixon took us off of it, and a lot of people were worried that, hey, what gives our money any value? Well, nothing gives except it was the global reserve. That was the Bretton Woods thing. They made it the global reserve currency. And then we made a deal with this country saying that, listen, we know a lot of people want to blow you up because you're so oil rich. We will protect you. We will make a pledge to you that we will protect you. We'll protect you from all these bad guys out here that want to take your oil if you only sell your oil and transact your oil in our currency. And that's what has caused our currency to explode over the decades. Except now this country here is basically thumbing their nose at the United States and their agreement. And because this oil deal here, it's not being done in U.S. dollars. It's not being done in U.S. dollars. Putin, he's increasing gas sales to China. So all these sanctions that we're putting on him, in fact, Russia is saying that these sanctions that we put on them for their fuel, the oil and stuff, isn't hurting them at all because China is more than happy to buy it up. And again, not using U.S. dollars. So there again, where their alliances, we've pushed them both into a corner. China needs the oil and the gas, and there's not really any place to get it. And so we've forced their hand. They've got to have it, and this other country can't sell it. Russia can't sell it. We're not allowing them to sell it, we say, and especially in U.S. dollars. So they're like, guess what? We'll just do some other deal and circumvent the sanctions, and we'll sell it in our own currency. And it's hurting us, okay? It's hurting our country. And China, this is kind of both China and an illegal thing. Illegal immigrant from China pays $80,000 to be smuggled in the United States. Now, I have not seen anything on this indicating that this is something other than just someone that really wants to live in the United States. But I am a little concerned, I would be concerned, that a Chinese citizen is paying $80,000 US dollars to come to the United States. Not that that's a ridiculous price, but Could this be funded by the CCP? Are they coming in here, to spy on us? Because that's a lot of money. I looked it up, the average Chinese worker converted to U.S. dollars makes about $50,000 a year. So, and that's in the big cities. That's not like the little farmers out, that aren't making it. But people that working in factories and stuff, like a regular, not the slave labor and all that, but just a regular middle class, and they are having kind of their middle class. We're talking 50,000 U.S. dollars. So those kind of slave factory workers, they're making substantially less, is what I'm trying to get at. So $80,000 is a lot of money over there. $80,000. Which brings me back to when I was talking about all of this stuff over here with the number of illegals. How much of those 2,500 a day in that one spot in Texas, how many of those are here to do us harm? Specifically, with this specific intent, how many of them are foreign adversaries? They're foreign actors, paid foreign actors. They're spies, whatever they are. They're here to attack our infrastructure, to poison the water. They're here to, spy and all that kind of stuff. How many of that? We don't know. It's a good question. I mean, this person here is supposedly paid $80,000, a gigantic sum of money for an average Chinese citizen, just to come to the United States. So, I have been really shocked. I said this the other day. I've been really shocked at how many people are starting to soften on the illegal immigrant. I mean, there's still many of you that are staunchly for shutting down that border and stopping this. But there's been more and more people, and maybe it's the news media, it's all wearing on them. It's just the same way, like how many people that you never thought have been, cozying up to the trans woke, agenda and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to see more of this. Biden loves it. You're not going to make me feel any different. Although according to the Biden administration, they're doing everything possible. And since it's Friday, the weekend's about ready to start, I thought I would leave us with some fun thing, because it's just, we got to have a laugh sometimes, folks. If you don't laugh, then I don't know what to tell you, but you got to laugh every once in a while. So we're going to listen to this. This is Jean-Pierre, whatever, Carindus, Jean, I can't ever, whatever her name is. It's the spokesperson for the Biden administration. And she's trying to convince the reporters that her office, her boss, has been working diligently to fix the border. Working diligently to fix the border.
We continue to see political stunts from many Republicans out there, and that's not how we're going to fix this issue. They want to secure the border. We've been doing that work on our own, and we're asking them to, hey, you know what? There's an immigration reform plan that the president put out on the first day. They should work with us and do this in a bipartisan way.
So they've been doing it on their own. They've been fixing the border on their own. I don't know how often it is that Kamala Harris gets to go down there. I don't know. I mean, she probably is there 2 or 3 times a week since she is the border czar. Anyways, the point is, folks, is that there's a lot going on. This border stuff, it may not be the tip of the spear, so to speak, when it comes to the danger going on, but it is an invasion. And even if all the people that were coming across the border were genuinely, decently good people, there's still a drain on our system that's already fragile, that's already struggling. And then on top of that, like I said, we don't know how many hundreds or thousands are coming here for criminal reasons, and then for terroristic reasons of espionage, reasons of international war, things like that. There's a lot of possibilities, and we don't know, and we're just allowing it to happen while China and Russia, they're buddying up. I mean, they're getting to be best buddies, folks. Don't know what to tell you other than just keep getting ready, keep prepping up. Take some time this weekend and spend with your family, rest, relax, draw closer to the Father in heaven, because we need that. Also, get ready for next week. Looks like many of you are going to experience some really cold weather, so get prepared for that. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order, to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.